This lesson. In our previous lesson, we discussed the levels and we explained the Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. In this lesson, we'll look at the implications or the application of Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs to real-life situations. By the end of this lesson, students should be able to explain 5 importance of Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So the first importance we'll talk about is that it emphasizes the need for peace in national development. Peace is a very important thing because it brings stability in every environment. In a country where there is chaos, there cannot be development. The concept of Abraham Maslow's safety and security needs makes sure that governments invest in the security of the country. They invest in the police force, they invest in the armed force, and in the navy. All these in a bid to protect our natural resources and also to protect the citizenry from crime. When the people have sound mind and peace, it brings about development. Next, we'll talk about the fact that Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs encourages people to move on and reach their full potential. Now, this is particularly about because of the concept of self-actualization. According to Abraham Maslow, individuals have to move through basic needs to safety needs, to love needs, to esteem needs before they are able to get to the self-actualization needs. Knowledge of the fact that an individual can be self-accomplished helps people to push through and reach their full potential, just so they can be called self-actualized people. Next, also, it talks about the fact that it helps governments to prioritize. Because Maslow's theory moves from one level to another in terms of importance and in terms of survival, it helps government apportion resources to the development of the country. So, for example, in the drawing of the national budget, the government might decide that we have A, we have B, and then we have C. All these are things of importance. Now, A stands for basic needs, which are food, which are clothing, which are shelter, water. And then B stands for security. So the government realizes that there are a lot of people who are in need of potable water, a lot of people who cannot afford 3 square meals. Here, the government will not be able to spend more or invest more in security needs because the hierarchy of needs has to start with the satisfaction of the basic needs. And so it helps the government to be able to know which projects to undertake and which ones to hold on to. The next one is that it is important that reward schemes are developed by employees. The concept of esteem needs help employers to be able to design reward schemes for their employees. When you go to some corporate institutions, they have reward schemes for certain positions. Here, you realize that there are car parks that are allotted for general manager, that are awarded for the director, and so it enables people to rise through the ranks, and it also encourages employers to design reward schemes to motivate their employees. Finally, it helps employers to be able to design compensation packages for their employees. You realize that the concept of basic needs, food, water, clothing, helps employers to be able to know how much to pay their employees. Others go to the extent of giving allowances for clothing, allowances for shelter, and allowances for food. This brings us to the end of this lesson. Now, in this lesson, we have discussed some importance or applications of Abraham Maslow's theory of needs in real-life situations. In our next lesson, we'll discuss adolescent reproductive health. See you in our next lesson.